Legendary warriors, the powers that created us now want us all extinguished. We must join forces, or else forever be their slaves. For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them. Let's roll.
Peace and blessings, everybody. It's yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. the Soulful Conservative, the DA and the prosecutor. Broadcasting live from the Political Heat Remote Studios, a.k.a. my vehicle. Going down a very bumpy road here in East McCabe's, dodging divots, craters, and everything else you can think of. And as I talk about these potholes in my lawn, per se, here in Pittsburgh, and I guarantee it's the same way in your neck of the woods, but here in Pittsburgh, they had to borrow money from other budgets to attack this pothole situation. So that kind of just lets you know how it is here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But that's not what I want to talk about this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about this. Common sense. This uproar in regards to Andrew McCabe being fired by Jeff Sessions is a complete and utter diversion. It is a complete and utter and nonsensical approach to common sense. And with Hillary Clinton, once again, Hillary Clinton making news last week or so with her idiotic comments. But once again, something else comes about where the focus was on her again, and yet, albeit this was more likely planned, this was already put in place, and it just so happened that it happened when it happened. But man, let's talk about common sense here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about, number one, the firing was justified. It wasn't Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, who fired Andrew McCabe. Andrew McCabe was fired on the recommendation after an IG report was completed by the Department of Justice. A career Obama official and Robert Mueller appointee, ladies and gentlemen, were the two head honchos who recommended that Andrew McCabe, the acting FBI director, be fired. Deputy FBI director be fired. Now, I look at it like this. The responses that have come out from former attorney generals like Eric Holder, former FBI directors like James Comey, former CIA directors like John Brennan, and anyone else who wanted to put their 2 cents out there, who were they all aligned with and had allegiance to? One Barack Hussein Obama. So what did you expect the comments from Comey, Brennan, and, oh my gosh, I just said his name and I can't remember what it is. Comey, Brennan. This is what happens when you haven't had your coffee yet, ladies and gentlemen. But you know who the third person I said. It'll come back to me in a matter of seconds here. But when you have individuals, Eric Holder, good Lord. That's what happens when you get older, ladies and gentlemen. Your brain doesn't function like it did when you were 20-something years old. But as I digress, this recommendation for Andrew McCabe to be fired was from an Obama appointee and a Robert Mueller appointee. And you can do your research, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to do it for you. But do your research, especially when it comes to Robert Mueller, Bob Mueller, whatever how you spell his last name or say his last name, excuse me. Stop acting like this guy is some neutral guy, some middle of the road guy, like everyone thought Comey was. He's not. He's a Democrat hack. Now, do your research and find out and realize that everything was aligned and put in place. Everything as far as the domino effect was manufactured, was put in a pot and cooked like a stew by one Barack Hussein Obama and his administration. Because if you look at the tentacles, ladies and gentlemen, from this outcome of Andrew McCabe being fired, recommended by an Obama appointee and a Robert Mueller appointee, and career officials at the FBI and the DOJ, this wasn't a firing by one President Donald J. Trump. Shut your mouth. Anyone who says that, you're an effing idiot. The lamestream media, wow. At least a couple of you out there are realizing that this wasn't some firing from one Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Some of you within the lamestream media and within the Democrat leftist liberal numbnut party, one Adam Schiff, who I can't stand, even came out and said that he believes that the firing of Andrew McCabe was justified. Jonathan Turley, a constitutional expert who is no conservative or Republican, came out and said that the firing of Andrew McCabe was justified and that Andrew McCabe should be worrying about prison and not his pension. We all know he's not going to prison. Pension, that's a whole other deal. But ladies and gentlemen, common sense needs to prevail in situations like this. Common sense needs to be the number one contributing factor when you make your decision in regards to where you stand on this Andrew McCabe firing. I don't care what aisle that you stroll down politically. But if individuals from the other side, and we know who these individuals are, and career officials made a recommendation that some way, in some form or fashion, Andrew McCabe and his behavior and his decisions and his job performance, there was just cause for him to be fired. So ladies and gentlemen, as you go about your day, just think about common sense. Common sense must prevail. I don't care if you're a conservative, a liberal, libertarian, independent, agnostic. I don't care who you are. Common sense must prevail. May God continue to bless you and yours. May He keep you and your family safe. Until next time, God bless you and yours. Peace.
If I said it, I meant it. Bite my tongue for no one, for no one.